Hello, very warm welcome. Spa race reaction as Lewis Hamilton dominates an absolute snooze fest Grand Prix. That was probably the worst race of the year. DRS very powerful, lots of overtaking, but a very poor race. We must remember Anton Hubert. We had a minute silence before the race. I'm pretty surprised on lap 19 they weren't clapping. We saw it in F2, we didn't really see it in F1. Unless I missed it. I mean, I did go to the toilet during the race, so maybe that could have been on lap 19. But yeah, I will put him on the thumbnail because it's important to remember Hubert. Sainz didn't even get to do the race. His luck this year is a joke. Driver of the season last season, didn't even get to do the race. Exhaust issue. Very clean start, epic wheel-to-wheel action between Max and Ricciardo. Gasly was absolutely flying. He put a unbelievable move on Sergio Perez, going down into Eau Rouge. Perez tried squeezing him, a bit like Ocon back in the day. Gasly was flying, bold move. Ferrari so slow, it was an embarrassment for Ferrari. They should hang their heads in shame, and they've got their home race coming up. So slow on the straight, can't even get the pit stops right, strategy, oh it's awful at Scuderia. Then Giovinazzi and Russell have a big crash. Giovinazzi loses it, driver error, Russell tries to avoid, hits Giovinazzi's tyre. Yeah, it was a huge crash, safety car came out to clean the debris. Alfa Romeo breezes past Ferrari. This is how bad Ferrari are. Ferrari are a works team, and Alfa Romeo with a Ferrari engine steamrolls them down the straight. Then we were getting to the end of the race, and I was thinking, it's very worrying for Formula 1. Lewis Hamilton is in a class of one. Mercedes are too good. The midfield battle is amazing, but at the front it's non-existent. It's Lewis, Bottas, Max. And Valtteri Bottas cannot take the fight to Lewis. It's embarrassing the points difference between them two now. Hamilton is 100 times better driver than Bottas. Lewis dominant. Pole, race win. I've got a flying around my room. It's pissing me off. Fastest lap, Daniel Ricciardo. What a sensational weekend he's had. Driver of the day, Ricciardo. Race rating, 1 out of 10. Awful. And Belgian race reaction, Hamilton dominates a snooze fest. Ricciardo driver of the day. Ferrari hang their heads in shame. Lewis Hamilton, 25 points. Pole, race win, dominant, class of one. Bottas, P2. I mean, nowhere near Hamilton all weekend. 0.5 off in quali. Finished second. Max, P3. Was close to Bottas in the race, but tyres became a factor. Daniel Ricciardo, star of the weekend. Amazing qualifying, amazing race. Fastest lap in the race on the last lap. No tyre issues for the Smiler. Esteban Ocon P5 passed Alexander Albon late on. Massive points for Renault. Albon P6 beaten by the Renaults. That is not good. Once again Albon, for me, that's poor. Lando Norris P7. A quiet race, the only McLaren in the race, but did well. Gasly P8. Now he was another driver of the day for me. Absolutely flying. When the safety car came out, he was on the hard tyre, so everyone else got to pit. He couldn't pit, so he had to come all the way through the field. I thought Gasly was sensational on an emotional weekend. Lance Stroll P9, dropped backwards on his tyres. Perez P10, did a very weird strategy, Sergio Perez. Stayed out when everyone else pitted, and yeah, it didn't make sense. Kvyat 11th. Kimi Raikkonen, a Spa specialist, easy for me to say. Won here 4 times, he finishes 12th, which is a great effort. Kimi Raikkonen's finished ahead of both Ferraris. Well done, Kimi. Still life in the old dog yet. Then we get on to the horror show that is Scuderia. Sebastian Vettel 13th, Leclerc 14th, just horrible. No pace, getting beaten by the Alfa Romeo. Strategy's bad. It's so poor. It's like the pace, strategy, pit stops, no passion, no drive. You wouldn't think they won the race last year. Incredible. Wow. Romain Grosjean 15th, Latifi 16th, Kevin Magnussen 17th and last. DNFs, Giovinazzi, Russell, amazing to see them both walk away from a hefty shunt. Carlos Sainz didn't get to do the race due to an exhaust issue. Qualifying reaction, race reaction, join me for driver ratings for the Belgium Grand Prix. That was nowhere near a classic, but Lewis Hamilton asserts more dominance. And we will be adding a 2020 to this 6 titles. He will match Schumacher, no doubting in my mind. He is a class above Valtteri Bottas, and it's plain to see. I worry for Formula 1. It's too one-sided. Mercedes, we know they're dominant, but Bottas has to be taking the fight to Hamilton, and he doesn't. The problem with Bottas is he'll win a few races, he'll get a few pole positions, but he cannot take the title fight to Hamilton. It's a bit of a sad day for Formula 1. It was a sad start with Anton Hubert, but we must remember him, and it's important we do. And then the race was very poor, and the way F1's going, that was a shocking race and not a good ad for Formula 1. Hamilton is just in a league of one. Comment down below, we'll always reply, and look out for driver ratings. Hamilton, get in there, Lewis. Adios.